Do you remember when your kit looked like this? Beautiful, organized, clean bingo sheet. Next, back in the bag. Oh, and look at this, the little kit of wonder. So organized, top row, bottom row. Of course, your kit doesn't look like this. Learning is messy business, but it's time to repack. Your IS1 kit returned to the school, ready to give to the next student for their adventure in learning. My guess is your kit looks more like this. And maybe there's stuff all over the room from your little kit of wonder, and it looks more like this. All right, let's get this organized. First things first, this was sent to you. It's in your Google Apara folder. You can print it, or you can simply use a piece of notebook paper and provide the information. We need your first name, your last name, a list of broken items, and a list of missing items. Don't have paper? Grab a piece of paper towel and provide that information. This is very much needed. You need to include first, last name, both please. Don't just give us your first name. First and last names. And then again, we want a list of broken, and we would like a list of any missing items. So you can either print the document that we pushed out to you, or you can make your own. Included in the document we pushed out to you is a list of everything that we will be going over, starting with the circuit supplies, moving on to Little Kit of Wonders, the connects, and miscellaneous. So please print this out or refer to it. I will be referring to it throughout the video. To begin, clear a large space and take everything out and just have everything in a pile. And I mean just everything you have. Please find it. Everything you have. It can be a cluttered pile, and then I promise we will organize everything. But please gather everything from your IS1 kit. That includes circuit supply. If you have them in a baggie, great. If you don't, just have random light bulbs and wires, that's okay. We are going to organize everything. Find the connects, find the, you probably don't have that, but find the bingo card, spaghetti. You remember we did the spaghetti builds? If you have it, if you have some remaining, find it. We gave you tape and we gave you markers. So clear a space, find everything. You should have an empty big container and an empty little kit of wonder for us to organize. I'm imagining you have a pile that looks something like this. Let's set aside the bingo card and the connects for now, and let's really focus on the circuit supplies. So we need to find those alligator wires, light bulbs, light bulb holders, 4 light bulb holders, light bulbs, resistors, metal screws. So I'm going to walk through each of these. You are going to find them and put those back into the little Ziploc baggie, please. So here we go. First item on the list, alligator wires. That, again, you know what those are because you are educated IS1 students. This is the yellow one. You have many colors. Find them all. Go. Okay, once you've found them all, it's important that you give them back to us in an organized, nice way. So put them all together, and then I like to just kind of tie them in this little loop. Beautiful. And you're going to put that into a Ziploc baggie. Okay, next item on the circuit supply list, 4 bulb holders. You'll recall you did circuit experiments with these bulb holders. If they have the light bulbs in, I would love it if you would take those out, but I will simply be happy if you provide 4 bulbs holders for me. 1, 2, 3, 4, into the baggie. Light bulbs, you probably have a box or just extra light bulbs. Again, if you could put the light bulbs from the holder into there, that would be an extra lovely step. So we have alligator wires, 4 bulbs, light bulbs, resistors. Do you remember what resistors look like? They look like this. They might take some searching. These are the resistors, the 10 ohm resistors. So please find 2 of these. 2 of these go back into the circuit bag. Where's my second one? There's some searching. Oh, maybe I don't have the second one. Okay, I'm going to add that to my list of missing items. Missing 1 resistor. Thank you for letting us know. And if you find it later, great, scratch it off the list. Okay, the last thing we need in the circuit, or 2 things more, sorry. We need any metal wires that you have. We can reuse those. So metal wires, and if you could go ahead and put the screwdriver in there, that would be helpful as well. Okay, zip that up, and that should be good to go into your big IS1 kit. So again, let's just check our list. Alligator wires, 4 bulb holders, light bulbs, 2 resistors, 1 of mine was missing, metal wire, and screwdriver. All right, we're moving on to the little kit of wonder. This is a lot of items. Refer to the list as I refer to my list. So we're going to start by putting the items in the bottom. If you have dividers in the bottom, you can see here I do. Great. If you don't, that's okay. Does not really matter, but we need these items in the bottom, and then we'll move on to the top tray. So let's begin. First item, more wires. So jumper wires. There are 2 types. This is one of the types. That's a broken wire from the motor. This is one of the types. They have 2 of the same plastic ends. Okay, so start by finding all of those. The second type, as you recall, has a metal pin at one end and the plastic cap at the other end. Okay, I believe I found all the jumper wires of this type. I also picked up these new jumper wires. Some of you may have these, some of you may not. If you have these, just leave them in the bag if you didn't ever use them. If they're out of the bag and they're still connected to one another, awesome. But you need to put those together in the bottom compartment of the little kit of wonder. They can bend. So I'm going to go ahead, and again, you have tape. So it'd be awesome if you could add just a tiny little piece of tape to kind of keep these all together. Would be awesome. Okay, so there they are. I'm going to put those all, again, I have dividers. If you don't have dividers, it's okay. Just kind of put those collectively together in the bottom portion of the little kit of wonder. Okay, as you'll recall, there's a second type of jumper wire. The ones that have these metal pins at one end. So again, if you picked up the new ones, just leave them together if they're still together. That's great. And then go ahead and find any loose ones you might have from earlier. Go. I don't have very many of these from earlier, so I'm going to go ahead, get a little piece of tape, and tape those together and put those together with all my jumper wires. So it's really easy for my teacher to find my nice organized jumper wires in the bottom portion of my little kit of wonder. And getting rid of the wires first kind of clears the space nicely for the other supplies. So here we go. Let's go down the checklist. We are looking for 9-volt connectors. There are 2 types, 9-volt connectors, possibly 3. So first one you have is this one that has the bare end, okay, the 9-volt snap with the bare ends. So that's one. And then this one that came, and everybody should have this one as well. Again, if it broke, this is a very common item to break. So please just let us know on that form that this broke. A lot of times this ripped off when you tried to take it off the battery. For those of you that picked up the new supplies, you might have this one, which is the new and improved, much better 9-volt battery snap. So you might have all 3 of the 9-volt connectors. So please put those together in the bottom of the kit. Beauteous. And again, let us know if any of those broke. Next, let's do some batteries. So we should have, besides the 9-volt connectors, you should have a AAA battery pack. It looks like this. So please put that in the bottom. You should probably have a 9-volt. Again, if it's dead, we don't really want it back, but if it's a good one that you picked up recently, we can reuse that. Those are good batteries. A relay. This is the relay. It's blue, has the pins on this end. Some of you used it with the motor, so please put the relay on the bottom. We're about halfway there. You should have many of these items in the bottom portion of your little kit of wonder. We just put the relay there, and now let's talk about motor. Many of you did not have a motor, so you picked up a motor at the school. Some of you might have 2 motors, or because some of you might have had a motor originally in your kit and then you picked up this better one. So what I would like you to do is, please, if you have the motor that you picked up from the school, it looks like this, put that in the bottom part of your kit. And then you may have also had a blue fan when you picked up that motor. So please put that in the bottom. Now, this would be a great time for you to tell us on this paper, so we are aware. I think you have a section here for notes. You could simply say, did not pick up motor. That tells us a lot. That tells us that you didn't pick a motor. So you don't have the blue fan, and you won't have those updated jumper cables. And so this is very useful information. Again, you don't have a printer, you don't have notebook paper, let us know. Maybe you did pick up, did pick up motor, but maybe there was no fan, no blue fan. That is a possibility. So just let us know. That way we're not questioning what went on with your kit. Okay, so again, many of you will have both of these items included on the bottom part of your little kit of wonder. The last 2 items on the list, the LCD. So the LCD display, pretty blue, very heavy, and then the slider. So these are the last 2 items to be put in the bottom part of your kit, and then we're ready to move to the top tray. Right, we're ready to begin the top portion of the little kit of wonder. Look how beautiful that bottom part is, and then you should have a little shelf that fits on top. Again, if you don't have the dividers on the bottom, that's okay, but this shelf you do need. So let's begin with what goes on the top. Of course, we would not have any functionality without the 2 microbits. So let's find those 2 microbits. Again, they came in multiple colors, so it doesn't matter what color. And if you picked up more than 2 because you had some issues, please find all of the microbits and put those in the top. I put my mic there in the corner. All right, the USB cord is needed to download programs. So again, you have a USB cord that was included. Please put that in the kit. Extension board. Put that on the top. 5 colorful LEDs, red, blue, green, yellow, and clear. Take a moment to find all 5 of these and put those. Again, you should have 5. I'm missing the blue. There we go. And again, gather those and nicely place those together in a compartment in the little kit of wonder. There we go, buttons. That's the next. Now, if one of the caps fell off the buttons, which happens occasionally, not very often, but you please add that to the list, the documentation that there is a broken button, so we are aware. Moving on, 8x8 matrix. So much fun, and you should be amazed how much you know. You know how to use this now. So the 8x8 matrix needs to be returned. Moving down the list, the 4-digit display. Again, many of you use this for a nice bright display of 4 digits. And then the ultrasonic rangefinder. You remember when you thought this was a speaker? Now you know it can detect distance. And it can trigger other things. Touch sensor. Some of you use this, some of you did not, but please find the touch sensor. And again, place everything nice and neatly into the top compartment. Almost there, guys. The IR receiver and IR remote control. Very small, very important. Silver and black. And of course, the remote control that sends the infrared signal to the IR receiver. Put those together in the top. I'll move this over here. Okay, NeoPixel. Ooh, NeoPixel. If you have a broken NeoPixel, it would be nice if you, well, of course, add it to the list. The student actually put a piece of tape and said broken, but please remember to document broken and missing items to your list, along with notes and so on. You might even have more than one NeoPixel. So again, just make a note. So if you have 2 NeoPixels, you should list that one of them is broken, and that's why you have 2, and that will make sense to us when we get and check your kit. Okay, there we go. This is beautiful and organized. Little kit of wonder reorganized. All right, that can go into the big kit. At this point, your big kit should have 2 things: a nicely organized little kit of wonder and a nicely organized circuits baggie. So that really leaves us with the connects. You'll notice that this connects is missing the directions. It's important that you include those, so please find them. There we go. Yours should have the directions, and very, very important, if you didn't use the connects, you can just make a note. That would be great to make a note. You never used it, but if you did use it, this little gray piece doesn't have to be in a separate container like this, but this little gray piece with the hole in the bottom, you should have 2 of those, and those should be separate from the other supplies, okay? Separate. Again, might be nice for us just under the notes section to say, never used the connects. And we'll know that those are beautiful, good to go to redistribute. Okay, put these back into the big IS1 Kit. What's left on our list? Connects. The 2 gray pieces were found, and now we need the miscellaneous items. 2 dry erase markers, Scotch tape, clean bingo card, which I will talk to you in a second about. And if you have a box of spaghetti noodles, if there's any remaining, we will reuse them. Let's talk about the bingo card. If it looks like this, we really need it to be cleaned up, okay? So how do you do that? Well, you should have used dry erase marker, and it's kind of difficult for you to erase with just a paper towel. You might want to try some isopropyl alcohol or maybe some nail polish remover. Please don't use both. I know we're studying chemical reactions, but don't need to do. Oh, beautiful. There we go. I'll just show you. This is with the acetone. That's nice. Let that dry a little. I'd let it dry before you put it back into your kit. And then, since that works so nicely, I'm going to do that on the other side with the nail polish remover. Again, you may just use some Windex or just whatever type of solvent, house cleaner you have. Oh, that is nice. Think outside the box. Remember this when we got your brain started. So much better. Once that dries, shouldn't take long. Put that in the big kit. Okay, so here's the big kit. You are going to include spaghetti if you have it. We're going to include the tape that we gave you. Include the 2 markers and your beautifully cleaned bingo card. And then last but not least, the documentation with your first, obviously my first name is not Mrs., but you know it by now, Mrs. Hartford. Broken items, if you'll recall, NeoPixel. Wires off. 1 resistor is missing. Notes. Connects used. It's kind of nice to know. That way we know if you used them or not. Okay, that should go in the top. Make sure everything fits nicely. Now, we want a selfie. That's right. We want to see your face next to your organized kit so that we know you are ready to return it to school. So thank you very much for organizing and for really digging in and learning what all the materials in this kit are all about.